Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3 of this Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. This is the Kaiserreich mod, and we are playing as Germany, the army with a state. Except our state is kind of collapsing right now. This mod models some of the financial difficulties which you would expect after a great war, and seeing as we were the victors this time, Black Monday, an event which actually happened historically in New York, has hit us instead in Berlin, and it has brought our government perilously close to stability. Well, actually, there are going to be stability problems. It's currently saying that we're on an average. I don't think that's going to hold for very long. We're probably... Yep, we're going to go beyond very low. Not quite disaster, but we'll certainly go down to very, very low. And that's going to take a bit of time to recover from. So right now we are getting imperial restructuring, which is going to give us another 100 political power. And then we were planning to get the Heimat focus for another 150. So that's going to give us 250 right there. So that's going to help a lot. But yeah, painful. Very painful. And I'm going to guess that's not going to be the end of it either. The Fifth Anglo-Afghani War. After the Welsh Creek, as the British Raj collapsed into turmoil and warfare, the neighbouring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this as an opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both border regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghani government's attempts to modernise over the last decades have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements within the country. King Amanullah Khan now hopes to use the turmoil in Delhi following the death of George V to his advantage. By repeating the success of the Fourth Anglo-Afghan War, the king hopes to silence the conservative opposition and bring new lands to the crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes on the tiny mountain nation winning this conflict. That was my phone going. Sorry about that. Who cares about Afghanistan? It's not German. Agricultural crisis in Middle Europa. During this time of great crisis, the agricultural sector of the German economy is one of the most vulnerable to turmoil. With this in mind, several Junkers, representing the landed nobility of the Kingdom of Prussia, have asked for protectionist legislation and subsidies for their protection. By imposing tariffs on foreign produce, we will strengthen this important sector to the Reich's economy. Such a measure is likely to cause further damage to the economy of our neighbours. However, as they are already greatly dependent on trade with Germany, Gerdomi, without even a capital G. Mod, early access, early alpha rather, it's going to have issues. The wheat crops in Ukraine are particularly vulnerable. So we must protect our own peasants, so we refuse to help Poland, Ukraine, and Galicia Lodomera. Where's that? Oh, it's Slovakia. Okay. Or we lose even more political power, which frankly we can't really afford. And then we assist the Polish Republic, the Kingdom of Ukraine, and the Kingdom of Galicia Lodomera. No, we're going to say this one. I mean, if they do try and split away from us, then we have a huge army that can stop them. And also Ukraine, I suspect, is the one which we want to help the most. Wait, what? Oh, invalid event with ID Ukraine political... So, Ukraine gets some political power. That sounds a bit broken, but we'll just do it anyway. Alright. What is the population of the Ukraine? It would be really nice if there was a way of seeing the whole population, but I don't think there is. So we can kind of get an idea if we close U, click on the state, and we can kind of see 2 million... 1.4, 1.2, 1.3, 2. So they have a pretty high population. So we don't want to piss off the Ukraine too much. Oh, hold up. Did that just change? Yeah, their icon's changed. Authoritarian Democrats are still in charge, but... Oh, no, they haven't. Why is that happening? I've seen that bug before. See, all the icons are changing. That's not at all annoying. Yeah, that's clearly not Japan there. Alright. So how are we going to fix this? I mean, we are making 0.75 political power a day thanks to our high party popularity, and so long as we can keep that up, then our recovery will be slightly faster. Although we have nothing which directly increases that right now. Oh man, minus 60% construction speed, and we are currently trying to build synthetic oil refineries. It's because we need these. We really badly need those. I also want to get our civilian industry up. Downfall in stability. With the lack of political power, our country is destabilized and needs to recover. It's only a temporary situation. We've gone down to low stability, which has increased the number of consumer goods factories that are being used, reduces our factory output even further, reduces division organization and national unity. That is not so good. Now, I am hoping once we have the imperial restructuring, that's going to stop us going down to very low. Very low is once you're under 200. We're about to gain 100, and we're just on the cusp of 300. So yes, I think that once we have the imperial restructuring, we will have halted any further decline, which is good. So yeah, hopefully. Depending on when it triggers the next wave of checks, probably every month or so. I said between 1 month and 3 months or something like that. 1 month and 6 months. It was a fair, pause between them, certainly. So I think we will halt the decline. And there was another one, Aftermath of Black Monday. Right, we probably need to get this to resolve the negative. So we're going to get the Imperial Restructuring, then we're going to get the Heimat focus, and then hopefully we should be able to start restoring some of the stability. I'm seeing that as very much a priority right now. It might mean that we're neglecting some of the other focuses, but I want to get my government back in check. If your foundations are broken, then anything you put on top of them will break. And that's a quote I just completely made up. Downfall. Damn it! Really? 2 days. 2 sodding days. You couldn't have waited for that long. With the lack of political power, our country has destabilized even more. Riots and strikes are beginning to shape up everywhere in the country, and the government is struggling to assert its authority. 2 freaking days. Come on! Well, we should be able to go back up to low, as long as we don't have to pay for it. That would be kind of harsh. Alright, Imperial Restructuring is done. We're down to minus 188. So, to go up to low stability, we require at least minus 60. Oh no, you'll have to get it to plus 100 to go up to average. Hang on, that's not what I wanted. Tell me about this. How do I go up? Oh, here we go. You'll have to get to minus 100 to get up to low stability. That's really irritating. So 2 days. Alright, we're going to do the Heimat focus in order to get that up. Oh, hello. The remilitarization of Oltenia. Armed forces of Romania have moved into Oltenia despite the Bucharest Treaty of 1918 forbidding them to do so. The Iron Guard regime of Romania hailed this as an important step to restoring Romania to its former greatness. It remains to be seen whether they will uphold the other stipulations of the treaty. So Romania, are you trying to be the Germany of this game? Because that's kind of dangerous, because he's a bit titchy. And you have absolutely no diplomatic ties right now. Are you fascist? National populists, you are. Iron Guard. That is such a cool name for a country. Has to be said. Okay. You know what, I think we probably can go up to speed 5, as we are more or less waiting for events to fire and for special stuff to be done. Well, once we have the Heimat focus, we'll be at minus 30, and in fact, by the time it is done, we should be around 0. With our economy in shambles after Black Monday, our colonial empire has been under fairly harsh scrutiny. The main territory that has been under examination is Crete. Crete is larger and harder to defend than Malta, and the upkeep is higher as well. To help with our deficit, it has been proposed that we essentially sell the island to either the Ottomans or the Greeks. What shall we do? So we can keep it for 50 political power. The Ottomans and the Greeks don't like that. We can offer it to the Ottomans, which means that they like it, but the Greeks don't. No, we're going to keep it because it is of vital German strategic interest in that area. The first International Congress, representatives from numerous syndicalist and socialist nations, have gathered in Paris today in what could be the defining moment in the history of the ideologies. The French Commune has invited numerous countries to the first official gathering of members of the Third Internationale to discuss political, foreign matters and cooperate on spreading socialism further. The French opened the International with a powerful parade, festivities in Paris, and finally a speech by the chairman of the CSP. Topics like Spain, the United States, and the world economic crisis are the top priority, and it is expected that France and Britain will take initiative in the gathering. So seeing as you were talking about America there, does America have an... They do have some, yeah. Are they spreading at all? We can't tell. Interesting. How's our technology going? This is the one area that has not slowed down. The Syndicalists' first move. The Reds are meeting to coordinate their activities, which are definitively aimed against the order we've established in Europe following our victory in the Weltkrieg. We must watch this meeting and analyse its results closely. Indeed. They've already got economic reforms, which we are going to get after the Heimat focus, hopefully. We'll see. Because once we have that, I'm quite happy to spend a little bit more political power. Electronic mechanical engineering, which means even faster technology. I don't think we want tier 2 synthetic oil just yet. Reinforced rate, or no, we want mechanical computing, of course we do. For even more faster tech. Marvellous. The International shows its true face. The Reds are clearly set to spread their poisons. They clearly shown during the last session of the International. We must be prepared for anything. We gain 10,000 manpower, which disappears just like that. The Markleek declared war on Mongolia. So I'm going to guess Mongolia is not a puppet of the USSR. Is in the Great Khanate faction with Tibet. So there's Markleek in Tibet potentially versus Markleek. Markleek is pretty big. Are you socialist? You are paternal autocrats. So you're probably somewhat close to what we are, in that we are authoritarian democrats. You have a military of about 15. You have about 9. You have 6. I would say that's fairly evenly spread, although actually Mongolia has a lot of factories. So from a production standpoint, Mongolia and Tibet have it, plus Markleek will be fighting on 2 fronts. I'm not sure that was a good idea. The Alash autonomy. I'm not convinced that was a good idea at all by Markleek there, although they are immediately advancing. Maybe they have better troops or something, I don't know. Interesting. Ostasians Gesellschaft. They've got quite a few troops, it's quite impressive. Afghanistan's invasion of the Dominion of India. I think they are losing that one. I think that was the border. How many troops do you have, out of interest? 5. Yeah, you're going to get absolutely swamped. That was a terrible decision there, Afghanistan. Terrible. Increasing activity of the suffragist movement. Lately, there has been a rise in activity of the supporters of the women's suffrage. That is those who want to grant women the right to vote and run for office. In this troubled time for the German Empire, it is not easy to choose the best solution. Granting them what they ask for would anger the more conservative elements of our government, especially the members of the Reichstag, currently elected by universal male suffrage. On the other hand, a stern refusal followed by reprisals may lead to riots and more protests, especially in the more liberal states that already permitted female voting in regional assemblies. The third possibility is a compromise, granting women the right to vote and be elected to local assemblies of all constituent members of the empire. But this last solution might only postpone the problem for the present time, and we may have to deal with these suffragists again in the near future. So we can lose a bunch of political power, which increases opinion with Britain, France, and the USA. We lose a little bit, which increases opinion a lot, or we could just outright refuse them, which decreases their opinion. I don't think I want to outright refuse. Or do I? No. Refusal. Men know best. I totally don't actually believe that, by the way. Right. Because, you know, it's the military might of the German Empire which has got us to where we are today. So we must honour the tradition of the patriarchal society. I don't know. Shut up, Mordred. If we are to ensure the security and prosperity of our home provinces, we must reconfigure our internal policies. We should also consider funding various science projects that could benefit our efforts. Okay, so we are up to minus 174, which is nowhere near as good as I was hoping. Status of the Ford. That's 60 more political power. And we get the event, the Free Workers' Union of Germany. Oh, we still can't get this. Oh, not until August. In that case, I think we will get this. It will cost us, technically, 10 political power. No, it will cost slightly more. But I'm going to do this. The Ford have for a long time been a thorn in the side of German society, promoting syndicalist ideals to the common man. The Kaiser feels worried that they may cause unrest if left unchecked, but the politicians of the Reichstag warn that banning the party could turn them even more radical and violent. Whichever path we go, we must tread it carefully. We're going to ban it. I have a big army. If they try and do something internally, I'm just going to squish it. Basic machine tools. Okay, plus 5% production. I think at this point I'm going to go with a concentrated industry. Makes us more vulnerable to bombing, but hopefully we can get an air force up in time before widespread bombing becomes a problem anyway. Hopefully. How are our neighbours doing industrially compared to us? That's probably a good question. 29 to 35, we have 66. Okay, we're double the strength. Both of them combined are roughly equal to us. Military factories, they probably have double the number of military factories, but the same number of civilian. What's their standing army? 65, 22 or so, 89, yeah. Militarily, we are still way stronger than they are. And all of my guys are like fully trained. They're all regulars. They're all pretty well equipped. And in fact, we are making surplus now. I wonder at what point I can give heavy tanks to the Infantry Division mit Panzerunterstützung divisions. So if I were to switch you to heavy tanks, what would it cost me? It would cost 200. We have 18. Okay, good to know. Alright, we're at minus 157. I need to be at minus 100 for the better government to come into place. But what I'm hoping the States of the Fort does is it allows us to increase the party popularity of the DKP. That's what I'm hoping happens here. And then we will get very high party popularity, which gives us, once we're above 80%, which gives us maximum political power gain. Ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka. Ceylon Island is settled by Sinhalese and Tamalis, who have battled for reign over this land for ages. Recent crises have caused even more havoc and disobedience, so our presence here is in danger. Lose political power. Son of a... Our popularity is rising. Due to the popular policies, one of our loyal ministers has managed to strengthen our ideology. With some additional influence, we could increase our population. Popularity even, not population. Yes, I think I would like to increase our popularity. It will cost us 40. It's a worthwhile trade-off. Here we go. Status of the Ford. The Free Workers' Union of Germany, the Freie Arbeiter Union Deutschlands, is an anarcho-syndicalist trade union operating in Germany since its creation on the 15th of September 1919. They have been free to operate until now, but we found proof that their leaders are in contact with syndicalist organisations in other nations. How dare they? Such as the CNT-FAI in Spain. We also suspect that they may be plotting against the Kaiser. That's not allowed. We're going to ban them. Jail the leaders and ban the party. Force them to go underground. They can't hurt us, right? Minus 200. No, we're going to ban it. And we've got the Scharnhorst class, which is the... Oh, and construction. Excellent. That is really good, actually. So with that, that means that we can now start researching the battlecruiser, which is what I want, because I really like these guys. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we'll need. I'm not even going to start researching doctrines, because they take so long. Upgrading artillery. Upgrading our tanks would be quite nice. Getting field hospitals would be quite good. Getting that would be quite good. Actually, there are quite a few technologies here. But no, I think I'm going to invest in battle cruisers. And start some of those being produced. Let's compare these two, because actually that's not going to come into 1940. I'm just looking for future usage. So Scharnhof still has better fire range, has better firepower, less anti-air, further range, same armor, same surface detection. You're actually even better at shore bombardment. Bismarck's better at evasion. Really? And Bismarck's faster, it has less hit points. Max speed. Bismarck is faster. See, this is kind of making me revise. Right, Scharnhof versus this. Less fire range, less firepower. Same anti-air, less range, less armor. Same surface detection, less shore bombard, same evasion, less port capacity. And they're faster. Oh, these are super heavy battleships. They're not battle cruisers. Right, yeah. No, that's not what I wanted. It's this that I wanted. Okay. Well, in that case, how do you compare? I read that completely wrong. Do you? Super heavy battleships are too expensive. I'm not even going to look at them. Alright, so your surface visibility is less, your fire range is less, your firepower is quite a lot less, your anti-air is a lot less, your max range is less, your armor is less, surface detection, shore bombard, evasion is slightly higher, port capacity is slightly less, max speed is the same. Battleships are actually better in every way. So yeah, we are going to build Scharnhorsts rather than Yorks. Can't believe I got that wrong. So what ships are we building right now? Heavy cruiser. Alright, we're going to build one more of those. And then we're going to start building some of the Scharnhorsts. Which will go to the battle fleet. Alright, so what are we researching? I don't need to research better ships now. Aircraft, how are we doing here? No heavy fighters. Not entirely sure how we want to fight in the air just yet. I think I'm going to upgrade our artillery and our light tanks, because we were going to focus on that. Okay. We currently have no national focus. That is true. Ban French organizations. Don't think I really want to do that. Research funding would be nice. I'm actually very tempted to say none of these. We're going to need to spend some time recovering political power, so we're not going to get any focuses. Getting the technology would be nice, but we're not far behind. Well, we're not actually far behind at all. And it'll be pretty easy to get our edge again. So yeah, we're just going to gain 1.75 political power a day. I like that there is this choice now. You have a reason not to take focuses. This is really strong. I like the fact that they've gone negative in political power. I love the system. It's really, really good. Having me fanboy a little bit over the mechanics of this game, but I'm genuinely impressed. Unrest in the Rhineland. Workers in the Rhineland are protesting against the recent anti-leftist actions of our government, especially the well-known FOD scandal. Hopefully this will not become a tragedy. Gain national spirit. Workers strike, which grants minus 10%. And France gets the workers' unrest in the Rhineland, minus another 15 political power, yeah. We definitely need to try and stabilise the government, so we're going to kind of sit back on our haunches for a bit and let that happen. Meanwhile, we've built a couple of our oil refineries, though they don't seem to be doing much good. Building provides +5 oil and +2 rubber. Yeah, we definitely need those built. Treaty of Goldman. Mongolia took... Yeah, Mark Leek was annexed. I'm not surprised by that at all. That was a terrible decision. And these guys, have you guys made peace? You have. Afghanistan is a puppet of India. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Both of these attacks were a dreadful idea. Absolutely rubbish. So Mongolia now is going to be even stronger. The rise of the Mongol Empire. Ooh. News and reliable sources of them are scarce in the vast plains of Mongolia, but it has recently come to light that the mad Baron of Mongolia, Roman Ungern von Sternberg, has risen to new heights and declared himself to be the successor of Genghis Khan, appropriately named Ungern Khan. It is now known what this change will entail. Sorry, it is not known what this change will entail, though. The Mongolian army has already defeated the Marklik, and von Sternberg has declared his right to reign over all Mongolian numerous times before. Experts deny the possibility of that the Mongolians could pose a threat to the established powers of the Far East, but the fresh Khan's ambition can only grow higher. You do have 15 divisions now. How are we doing over here? We have 36. We're totally fine. They may try and go after the Qing Empire, though. Oh, actually, you've got a fair amount yourself. Japan's just... Mongol Empire has declared war on Tibet, their former ally. Ooh. Yeah, Tibet will go down pretty quickly. So the Mongol Empire is a rising force over there. Interesting. Very interesting. Meanwhile... I feel like we're wasting the national focus, but we're not. This is a completely legit move that we're doing right now. Usually you see that icon, you're like, I'm doing something wrong. No. Holberg's Stark terrorized the cities with a devastating economic situation. Many families struggle to earn their daily bread, and the social security net is strained beyond breaking point. Now, in the last weeks, the streets of many German cities have been increasingly terrorized by gangs of teenagers. These Halbstark steal products from the markets and shops, and often money from innocent pedestrians, or commit acts of vandalism to escape boredom and frustration. More and more citizens do not feel safe anymore in the streets. Oh my god! Shocking! It's fine, we'll recover. It's just under 20 days worth of political power we just lost there. I like to think that we're making positive progress. Who knows if that's true. What is using all of our manpower? The Rhineland strikers cave in. The slow war of attrition between us and the strikers has been won by the government. The strikers, seeing little success in their efforts, are about to call off the strike. Plus 100 political power, and we lose the workers' strike. Awesome. The United States has declared war on the combined syndicates of America. What happened over there? Ooh. The industrial heartland is seceded. Led by MacArthur. I like it. Okay, so they have 15 divisions, 6 factories, loads of civilian factories. Oh, wait, that's the USA. Sorry. Jack Reed of the Combined Syndicates of... Really, Douglas MacArthur is the president. Oh, it's a military junta. I see the military seized control. Okay. And you have a couple of little gaps here and there. Why is that not split? Southern Chicago. Alright, so you guys, you have no divisions, a couple of factories. United States should absolutely crush you, but I'm going to assume that you have some events and things that will help you. There we go. The American Union State is also split. The American Union State declared war on the Combined Syndicates of America and on the United States. You have 9 divisions. You have 12. Okay, now you're in trouble. The Second American Civil War. The uneducated foreigners, it might seem like a crisis in the United States happened out of nowhere, but experts agree that this was a civil war years in the making. Ever since the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in 1929, the economy of the United States has been in constant downturn. The government of Herbert Hoover failed to cope with the American Great Depression, and now the United States has devolved into a three-way civil war between the loyalists of the old government, the syndicalist Combined Syndicates of America, and the conservative and xenophobic American Union State. There have already been reports of arriving volunteers from Europe to fight for a faction of their liking. The Second American Civil War might be the first of many battlefields between the great powers of the world in this tough time for humanity. troublesome development. The spread of dangerous syndicates throughout the world has infected America, and many people wish to help the American Union state win a moral and righteous victory over the CSA. So we can send volunteers, which will cost us 10,000 manpower and 1,000 infantry equipment. And their opinion of us increases dramatically. Are you paternal autocrats? But you're also very high paternal... Hang on, you're all... Oh, you're 94% paternal autocrat. I thought that was a different colour. You guys are completely syndicalist. And you guys are mostly authoritarian democrat. It's actually these guys I would like to support. Not these guys. Except that is kind of the US. But ideologically, they are aligned with us. No. Not our concern. Picking the wrong side. Oh, Mexico's just jumped in too. They've just seized Texas. Oh, and California split. The Pacific States of America. Are you not telling me anything about this? You haven't declared war. You've literally just split away. You have probably the least industrialized part. Yeah, certainly the least industrialized part. A lot of ships, though. Though not as many as the regular USA. Yeah, you are the weakest faction here. Led by Frank Merriam, the Pacific States of America. Here's the California Bear. Economic crisis has shaken the belief held by millions of Germans in their great country, and as an effect both social democratic and radical movements started gaining in popularity. Reich Chancellor von Papen hoped to turn the tide by announcing weekly radio addresses in which he would announce what steps the government has taken to combat the crisis. Despite critics saying that since the beginning of these auditions, Chancellor prefers to spend time in broadcasting company's headquarters rather than the Reichstag, the broadcast proved to be a great success. Turn up the radio! Plus 20. Good. We're over the minus 100 threshold, which means that we can now become low stability again. Rather than very low. The Arab Congress. The Arab revolt in the Weltkrieg was a failure, mostly due to the defeat of the Entente, and with millions of Arabs living in the Levant and Iraq stayed under Ottoman rule. Despite this, though, Arab nationalism has been on the rise for many years. It has finally culminated into the beginning of the Arab Congress in Cairo. Representatives from numerous Arabic nations were greeted with a spectacular performance by Egyptian dancers and artillery salute, and the negotiations began. Experts predict the Egypt and Hashemite Arabia will lead the Congress where bitterness towards the Ottomans and sometimes even discussions of a united Arab axis against the Turks can flow freely. I wonder where I've seen this before. Riots and protests at Rangoon University. Dissatisfaction with the lack of popular involvement in government has sparked some the greatest demonstrations in Burma since their independence in 1926. Stemming from the great and prestigious Rangoon University, radicalized leftist students have occupied several administrative buildings and held rallies denouncing the monarchy and its feudal backers as being corrupt and detrimental to the welfare of the nation. Still, the demonstrators haven't managed to garner the support of the industrial workers and rural farmers, restricting the budding movement to the Burmese intelligentsia. The Arab Congress, planned by Arab nationalists in Egypt, the Arab Congress is an event in Cairo where delegates from all Arab nations convene to discuss the situation and preservation of the Arab culture and identity. Unfortunately, this has awakened unwanted nationalism in Arabic-speaking provinces. Minus 25. We're still at minus 100, so it can trigger. Now, we can go to low stability, which would be nice because it would increase or it would decrease the consumer goods factories. It would increase our factory output, division organisation, and, of course, national unity. Though this is costing us time that we are not investing in this, although we can now get the aftermath of Black Monday. I'm going to try and get this to 0, then we'll do that. No, we're going to do it now, because hopefully this will just allow us to change things. The Great Crash of 1936, widely known as Black Monday, has held a massive impact on German politics, culture and society. While the damage might never be fixed, we should enact reforms and recovery policies to gain some of our lost capacity. Yes, we should definitely do that, actually. Oh, that immediately increased it. That was not my intention. Anyway, that is it for now. So, thank you very much. Oh, I know why. It's because it immediately filled that bar up a little bit. Yeah, that's why. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying this series, then please do hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, then please do consider subscribing, and if you have any tips or advice for me, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.